Hello everyone and welcome to my second project video. This is another short story that I've entered in a competition and it's called Stone Duckling. I can give you a bit more background information on this one. This was the last piece of writing I ever did on my college course for my A-level in creative writing, and I got really positive feedback from my creative writing teacher. And she basically said, I didn't need to improve it. I did, obviously, later on now I've tweaked it slightly, but at the time she was really happy with it, and I was really happy with it, because for that last lesson, we did ghost stories. We just looked at ghost stories, and I remember that class really well. We talked about, the stereotypes of, ghost stories, and obviously we had, you usually have the skeptic, and you have the paranormal houses, and you have the creepy children that do weird things, and you usually have the brave one who's just oh, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to exorcise this ghost, and the really corny stereotypical ghost stories that are out there. And then we were basically challenged to flip all those on their head, and I created Stone Duckling because my plan was to create a more poignant ghost story, rather than having a malevolent spirit, to have just more of a sad story. So Stone Duckling, it's from the perspective of a stillborn baby, which may sound really creepy, and it does sound quite dark, but it's not it is sad, but it's not a nasty story. So the opening sentence is, "In life I never got the chance to love, for my life never really began, so I never learnt what it meant until many years later." And then it goes on to describe, obviously the baby's describing its world. So, the world I knew is very different to the one you are in right now. Mine consisted of me floating in water, gently rocking from side to side. I never saw colours, as my eyes never opened. All I knew was darkness, but not in the way you know. This did not cause me fear, as I had no emotions. So it was kind of the idea of how, the baby's still developing in the womb and it won't know everything. And it's I guess you could say it's kind of got a spiritual feel to it. It's not meant to be horrible as a ghost story. It's meant to be more poignant and mysterious, and what's going on, and it's not really clear until the end. So it goes on to describe about the sounds and touch, how it's this one. Sometimes my foot would connect with an indescribable shape. This was the only physical contact I ever felt, the only bond I ever made when I was alive. It might seem insignificant to you, but to me it was everything. It was proof I had once existed. I was really proud of that little paragraph. And then that bit's kind of revealing it's stillborn with, "Who knows or cares what time my heart stopped beating? One day I just stopped moving. That was it." And then this is the big reveal. "It was only as I watched my tiny coffin be planted in the earth that I knew what love meant. It meant paying tribute to those who had gone, promising to carry them with you forever." So that's obviously describing their funeral. And then time skips. "It's been 40 years now, and on the anniversary of my death I come to see my mother. All I can do is gaze and hope she feels loved. This is the only way I have of thanking her for remembering me, that on this day, 20th of March every year, she sacrifices a few precious minutes to place a pot of purple pansies on my unnamed, duckling-shaped headstone." And that's obviously how it's got its title of Stone Duckling, because I just had this image in my head of a baby's headstone, and it's in the shape of a duckling. And obviously, really sadly, it's unnamed because the baby was never named. And then I'll read you the ending paragraph because it kind of sums it up nicely. And I really liked the message I kind of created through this ghost story. "Sometimes a younger woman accompanies her, squeezing her arm. I notice they share the same shining blue eyes. I can never hear what they say to me, but I see their lips move. the tears that spill from their eyes, and it makes me feel alive, because it proves that I am loved, and in the grim but true reality of death, that is the only thing you can hold on to. So yeah, it's like all they have is love. That's the only connection they have. And it's like really poignant whenever you hear like stories on the news of parents who have lost their babies, and their it's just, it is really sad, but it's like that love is what gets them through it, because even if they only had this baby for such a short time, they've still bonded over those 9 months, and the excitement of, you know, bringing this baby into the world and then not being able to actually follow through with that joy. It's like why I wanted to create this ghost story. So it's another one I'm quite proud of. Some parts I'm not sure if I could have like described it better, or like written it in a more like, I don't know, in a more successful way, but I'm still really proud of it, because it's like this is the only ever ghost story that I've done. So, and I'm quite happy with like how it turned out, and like my own personal my own personal spin and twist on a ghost story. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video.